Right here on Fox Sports Radio 1350 and foxsportsradio1350.com. Now, here's more with Pep on the Inland Empire Sports Show.
But Greg, it's raining outside. Have you seen it out there? It's raining out there. Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. We've got breaking local high school football news, exclusive interviews. We're going to talk with Cal Quantrill, Lake Elsinore Storm pitcher, who is mowing through that Quakes lineup, which included some Dodger pitchers. He's come up in our second segment. We've also got Jeff Steinberg from the Rancho Verde High School. We're going to talk a little high school football, that new 14-team conference coming up, plus his former quarterback at Santiago. Blake Barnett just played in the ASU spring game. We'll get his thoughts on that as well. And in our first segment, right around the corner right now, we're going to talk CBU Event Center. It was beautiful. I had a chance to go see it. In fact, I think I left it in my bag. I have a piece of the actual ribbon that they cut. So it's going to go up here in the Inland Sports Studio. It'll live here forever. That's a piece of history. It's the actual ribbon cutting from the ceremony at the Event Center. So we're going to talk about that. Also, CBU softball. It's all brought to you by our good friends over there at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. You'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service. Great prices. Check them out off Alessandro Boulevard. We love you, Bill Navigado. Ken Sporting Goods, celebrating more than 40 years in the Inland Empire, taking care of all your sports gear needs, plus Letterman's jackets. Check out kensportinggoods.com. Fandom House Studio. Nobody has better sports edits than Fandom House Studio. Get a great photo shoot for the athlete in your life. Maybe senior pictures, wedding pictures. It's fandomhouse.com. Check them out for more details. And Boost Performance Training. Athletes of all levels need to check out Boost Performance Training in Corona. Coach Ray Bass and his team bring experience, passion, commitment to grooming great athletes. Check out boosttrainingsystems.com. Well, Jeff Gorham, one of the all-time leading scorers in Riverside County basketball history, not in the studio today. Just had knee surgery. Colin, we texted with him a little bit. He's doing okay, it sounds like.
Yeah, Jeff better get well soon. We miss him. It's quiet around here.
It's way too quiet. Jeff's pretty loud. That was what we're trying to say. But Jeff's going to call in a couple minutes, give us an update from his beautiful home down there in southwest Riverside County.
See, what I don't get is why CBU would schedule the opening for the arena without Jeff.
Jeff, I want to go through the CBU records books because Jeff claims he had a 41-point game. I don't know who it was against. But when we talked to Rick Croy says the record was broken. That 41-point mark was shattered a long time ago. I'm just curious who broke it, how long ago it was. But yeah, CBU needed to have Jeff there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't do that without Jeff.
Actually, that was the day of his surgery, wasn't it? It was like the exact day.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't there.
Probably still in the hospital. But Jeff's going to call in a couple minutes, talk about his knee surgery. But yes, it was the big ribbon cutting and dedication ceremony at Cal Baptist University. If you are watching us live and amplified right now on the Inland Sports Channel, that is Dr. Ronald Ellis. He's flanked by, of course, the men's basketball coach Rick Croy on his right. Big ribbon cutting out front of the gymnasium. I also like the big bronze statue that they have of the Lancer, the Knight, who's guarding watch over the new event center. So, Colin, you're going to go to CBU. You're there all the time. You saw it, right?
Yeah, well, I was a little disappointed because I saw pictures of it when they first put it in, and I was like, where is his lance? I didn't realize they were going to put it on later, so.
Added afterwards, right? So it's all finished now.
It looks good now. I was just a little worried.
It looks sharp. It looks really awesome. And the arena from the outside, magnificent. On the inside, still fixing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's still a lot to be completed. The basketball court is not in. But right now, before we hear from Rick Croy, because we have a little soundbite from Rick Croy as he addressed the crowd there at CBU, we're going to go to the Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change Celebrity Hotline. If you're watching us on the channel right now, that's a picture of Jeff, and he is wearing his Inland Sports shirt next to Boba Fett when he went to Disneyland. It's Jeff Gorham. Jeff, how are you?
I am living the dream. I have just had knee surgery 2 days ago. I'm up and around, hobbling, and feeling well.
Is the Force with him?
Yeah, is the Force with you? He's a big Star Wars nerd.
The Force was with me. The only thing I'm going to say is, if you ever go into surgery, the nurses say, we want you to wear a gown. So they give me this gown that's just way too small because I'm an extra large. And there's 5 nurses and 1 doctor, and I'm naked from the waist down. And I know when they're doing the surgery, everybody's looking at me. They saw every bit of me, and I'm a little. That's the only part about the surgery I'm upset about.
That sounds awful, Jeff.
Yeah, everybody saw my junk.
Jeez. But how are you doing? I mean, because you told me if the doctor said if you could stand up, you're free to stand up and just walk out of the hospital.
Yeah, I stood up, I got up, and the doctor released me, and I've been walking with a walker, so I look like I'm about 75. But I feel good. I'm taking a lot of, I'm not going to lie, I'm taking a lot of pain meds. I'm taking Norcos, not the high school, but the drugs. And, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go play and run. I'm going to race my kid in a 50-yard dash here in about a half hour.
Now, you broke the news that you're the new head basketball coach at Santa Rosa down there in Menifee. Are you ready to dunk a basketball again?
I am ready to dunk. I'm ready to get out and practice every day. I'm going to run those guys to death.
And Jeff, they've got like 30 hoops out there, so you can dunk on all of them now, right?
Yeah, they have 18. I have 18 baskets. I only have like 7 kids, but 18 baskets. So it'll be nice. We'll be able to play. Every kid will have 2 baskets.
Well, Jeff, I was surprised. I mean, CBU had its big dedication ceremony, the ribbon cutting for the new event center on campus, and you were texting me saying, how does it look? What does the inside look like? And I'm thinking, this guy just had knee surgery, and he's hit me up about CBU. Did you get a chance to look at some of the video we posted on the Inland Sports channel? What'd you think?
You know, I haven't checked out the video because I've been kind of in a drunken, drug-induced coma here, but I did see a couple stills, and I will say this. How cool is it to have an arena here in Riverside?
It's super cool. I even though it's just a shell of one, because I went inside and they were actually set up for to look like a dinner party, like tables, and they're getting ready to break some bread. Because the basketball court's not down yet, but I could picture it, I could envision it.
Well, Rick Croy, he's going to be able to recruit everybody.
Yeah, Rick Croy, he looked awesome up there at the ribbon cutting because if you saw him in the crowd, he had like 80s style sunglasses, and it was like reflective. It's like almost looked like a school picture. Like pick out the cool kid in this class. It was like Rick Croy with his shimmering glasses in the crowd.
Well, he's totally hip and cool now. He's on Twitter, right? Didn't I see that the other day?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Coach Croy's on Twitter. In fact, I found his Twitter handle and I shot it out to everybody. I said, hey, look who joined the team. Rick Croy's out there on Twitter. Go give him a follow.
Well, you know, originally I got this knee surgery just so I can make a comeback. I think I might have one more year of eligibility, except it would probably be NAIA, so I'd have to play at like Life Pacific or one of those places. I couldn't play at CBU because they're D1 now.
You can still play D1. Come on.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm telling you, I've gone from a shooting guard to an offensive lineman / power forward.
Well, Jeff, we're glad you're doing well. Thanks for checking in. We're going to hear from Rick Croy in just a moment here because he addressed the crowd. And again, we've said this before on the show. Whenever Rick Croy speaks, you feel like just running through a brick wall for the guy.
I would do anything for that man. He is my hero, my coaching hero, and like I said, I'm going to play for him.
Jeff, get better. Watch your Rogue One, and hopefully we'll see you next Saturday, right?
I will be there in studio next Saturday with bells on my knee.
That's Jeff Gorham. Jeff, we appreciate it, brother.
See you, buddy.
All right, see you.
Bye.
That's Jeff Gorham calling live from his beautiful home down there in southwest Riverside County, talking about Rick Croy. He did address the fans at the big CBU ribbon cutting, and here's Coach Croy from Thursday.
Our coaching staff consistently talks to our players about getting better every day. But we feel the best way that is communicated and modeled is for our players to see things around them tangibly getting better every day. That's better gear, better facilities, better food. Thank you, Rodney Couch. They see things around them tangibly improving. And it consistently shows them what it looks like to get better every day. For 2 years, we have made the walk, our players have made the walk from Van Dyne to our Athletic Performance Center, which sits behind the Rec Center. And they have watched and witnessed the work put into the completion of this legacy building. And now it is our turn as a basketball program and athletics department to put in the work and live our purpose and repay the work that went into building this incredible place. We can't wait for our first practice here and our first sold-out game. We have tremendous support that reaches beyond our community and this new event center. It will bring out the best in everyone associated with CBU. To our students, fans, and alumni, this is your new home. Come early, pack the house, get crazy, and let's enjoy this journey together. We are grateful for everybody here. Thank you, and Lance up.
The great Rick Croy addressing the folks at Cal Baptist University, the new event center. They will be breaking it in this upcoming fall. The basketball teams will be in there playing their home games on campus. The volleyball teams are still in Van Dyne. They like it nice and cozy with the rowdy fans in there, but the basketball teams will be in the new event center. When we come back, we're going to break it down with the CBU softball team. The Lancers have never made it out of the West region when it comes to the playoffs. This could be the year. We're going to talk to the CBU softball team, plus local high school softball and baseball news, and of course, our exclusive interview with Lake Elsinore Storm pitcher Cal Quantrill, who's had quite the week mowing down some major league batters. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
Thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
I played once upon a time at Centennial High School. I was actually on the first ever CIF championship team back in 2000, and then my senior year we won it again. I'd say that's my passion because I've done it. You know, I know exactly where these athletes are at. I know what their mindset is right now. I know how hard it is to, number one, find a performance coach who can take you to the next level. What sets us apart has to be, you know, how we work with our athletes and what we know. We can take an athlete and you know, help them reach their athletic potential, you know, help them, you know, prevent injuries, help get them stronger. I know every single athlete who steps into this gym. I know exactly where they're at, and I'm going to progress them every week. If you're not getting results, then, you know, really what's it about? We're going to deliver something that's measurable, you know, in terms of speed, power, you know, strength, agility.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Cal Baptist University clinched a PacWest Conference championship in softball, and join us now on the show, the head coach of the Lancers, Bill Baber. And Coach, it got interesting. I was actually walking to a high school game on the baseball field the day you clinched against Dixie State.
Yeah.
I looked at the scoreboard. It didn't look good for a while. You guys waited till the end to actually get the job done. So a little bit of drama going into this conference championship for you guys.
Yeah, it really was. And we did it the hard way. We got behind, but this team never gives up. And they showed it again in that last game, getting behind, but coming back and getting the big hit and then holding on at the end.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first outright championship? Were the other previous 2 conference titles co-championships?
The first one was outright,
okay,
but we weren't able to go to the playoffs at that time. We still were in our 2-year waiting period before we could go.
Making the transition?
Making that transition, yes.
So you get the job done on your home field. How special was that?
That was what was great. That was one thing we hadn't been able to do in the NCAA era is celebrate here. The other 2 championships, we were on the road. Doing it in front of our fans on our own field, it made it even more special.
You got quite the gap between the end of the regular season conference play and the West region. How do you keep the girls dialed in and focused?
Yeah, well, it kind of was nice. We're beat up at the end, and this time we've had off actually I think will help us get a little more healthy. We've taken a little more lighter practices the last couple weeks. Now we're really getting going, getting prepared for next week. It was also nice during their finals that they could take care of their finals without having softball going on. So I think they're back ready to go, focused, and looking forward to the West region.
So a nice little break, it sounds like a little blessing going into the
I think it was.
Having
a nice little break, I think, might have helped us.
So looking at the West region, I know I think the brackets come out Monday.
Yes.
But you probably have an idea who might host or who you might match up with. Are you one of those coaches that try to eyeball where this all might kind of fall out?
You know, we were at one time, but now it's so up in the air. There could be 1 of 3, maybe even 4 places. So the way the region changes so much week to week. So we'll just see where we go on Monday. And our motto has just been the last few weeks is tell us who we're playing and where we're playing, and we'll be ready.
Big thanks to Coach Baber, and now joining us here on the Inland Sports Show, a couple of star players here on the CBU softball team, shortstop Krista Mann and outfielder Caitlyn Lloyd. And Caitlyn, you had the big grand slam against Dixie State. I was telling Coach, I walked by, you guys were losing, I walked to the parking lot, I hear the crowd go nuts. All of a sudden you guys are up 5-1. That grand slam you hit against Dixie State, have you had a bigger moment in your softball career other than that grand slam?
I mean, up until that point, I think we were all struggling. We were all hitting it right to the players, and for me, that was probably one of the biggest moments just because we needed it so bad. And I know that I had a couple struggling at-bats that previously, and that at-bat really meant a lot. And I was just going for a base hit, but I mean, that works, and that's definitely one for the books.
Let's talk to Krista Mann as well. Krista, you're a senior. You have a couple games under your belt. As a leader, as a senior, getting a big hit like that, trying to ride that wave of momentum into the postseason, right? Do you feel good about where this team is right now and the kind of run you guys might be able to put together here?
Yeah, I mean, with our energy after that home run, I mean, going after and winning PacWest like that on our own field definitely gets this team going. I think we're on a roll for postseason. I think everybody's really excited to find out where we're going on Monday.
So 2014 is the last time you won. So I'm doing some math in my head. So you were around for that, right?
Yep.
What do you remember about that season?
We were up north. We actually had to come back home and then go back out there due to rain. And we actually won it out up north, and it was just as exciting, but not compared to winning it at home. I mean, next to all of our fans and family. So it was awesome.
So Caitlyn, looking ahead to the postseason, you don't know who you're going to play, you don't know where you're going to go, but like Coach was kind of saying, doesn't really matter, right?
Nope.
You guys play your style of softball, you feel pretty good. What do you guys have to do in the postseason to be successful, would you say?
I think a really big part of this season that we really struggled with was fly balls. And I know that Coach B stresses line drives, and line drives will turn into doubles to triples to home runs. And so I think as long as we keep the ball low and put it in the gaps, we're going to be pretty successful.
And Krista, back to you. As a senior, this is your last crack at it. I mean, how much are you just trying to enjoy the journey? And obviously you want to win, but are you trying to soak in every moment as you go along, too?
Yeah, I mean, from the start of the season, I mean, I've been playing for fun, and it's getting us places. We won PacWest. I really think we're going to go far this postseason, and for the first time, we're going to go past regionals, and I'm really looking forward to it, taking every moment.
We hope so. That's Krista Mann and Caitlyn Lloyd here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Well, best of luck to CBU softball, and we'll find out on Monday, 7 a.m. Pacific time, when the NCAA Division II brackets come out. We'll find out exactly where they will be going for the postseason. You're listening to the Inland Sports Show, and you're watching us live and amplified right now on the Inland Sports Channel as well. We're brought to you by Spoiled, Quick Quality Oil Change, Ken Sporting Goods, Fandom House Studio, and Boost Performance Training as well. We got Cullen in the house. You had a busy week for Inland Sports, Cullen.
I did. It was a blast.
You went to Santiago hosting Norco. That was a huge game. Norco had not lost the game all season, and they still haven't lost in terms of the softball team, which we had in studio last week. So a little bit of mojo, some good luck going for Norco coming in studio on the Inland Sports Show, I guess.
Right, that Inland Sports mojo is real.
It's real.
Rancho Verde with the
I've heard
CIF
otherwise. I've heard the actually opposite, but go ahead.
Well, Rancho Verde with the CIF championship.
That's
I asked
true.
Coach Baker flat out, what about that Inland Sports mojo? And he said that's what did it.
Did you ask?
I did ask him. But Norco meant Taylor Dawkins, best player in the nation, obviously.
Yeah.
And she's just so good. She ties the record for the Southern Section wins record. But you look at the rest of the Norco team, and they are deep all the way around. Santiago is a team that only has a handful of losses. I believe it's 6 losses, and 2 of those are to Norco. So Santiago's a force to be reckoned with. They'll go far in the playoffs, and Norco just completely outran them.
So that's 103 wins, career wins for Taylor Dawkins in the circle. She's going to break the record because,
Absolutely.
Norco's got one more week of regular season and then, of course, playoffs. They are 28-0 on the season, and I've been around long enough that I know that in the CIF Southern Section Division I playoffs, you can pencil in Norco or Santiago in that championship game. It's like this, the sun rising in the east. Like, it's going to happen. And seeing Norco get on this roll, I don't know if there's anybody that can stop them right now.
Well, my first thought after the game was maybe this is Centennial Roosevelt. 2 Big 8 schools playing really well, meet up in the playoffs a couple times maybe.
Could be. It could be. I mean, if they met again for the championship, because the CIF, when they make it the brackets, they're going to look at where Santiago is, where Norco is, and they're probably going to put them on opposite sides.
Right.
So it could happen. Just saying, if it could happen in that championship game, which I believe the championship final should still be at Barber Park in Irvine, unless they change it, but that should be the location of the Southern Section Championship. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Congratulations to Norco keeping that going. If you head over to Riverside TV right now on the highlight reel, we have highlights of King taking on Roosevelt. Lots of land of the Big 8s going on this week. And if you check out those highlights, King fighting for their playoff lives. They picked up a huge win, 9-3 on the road at Roosevelt. Bella Gargikovic Almeida. I said it. 4 for 4. Alexis Delgado with a grand slam in that victory. So go head on to Riverside TV and check out those highlights as King looking to stay in the playoff hunt. That victory went a long ways. They got Centennial and Corona coming up this final week of the regular season. So congrats to King High School. Check that out, Riverside TV. Speaking of the land of the Big 8, now we shift over to baseball. And I'm trying to wrap my brain around this, Colin.
Everyone's probably know more. To wrap their brain around it right now.
You probably know more about this than I do, but there was a protested game on Tuesday between King and Corona that Corona won, but the protest was upheld, and they had to play it again yesterday, and you were at the game.
Right, so I was at the game yesterday, and I got to tell you, the people there, the fans, the parents, I think they talked about the protested game on Tuesday more than they talked about the game that was going on. So everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. From what I understand, it had to do with a runner trying to score from third. The Corona catcher threw his mitt at the ball, knocked it into... It was in foul territory, I believe. That's obviously illegal. The umps weren't going to give King any bases for that. Steve Madrill talked to him. They got 1 base where they wanted 3. So Steve Madrill puts the game under protest in the 2nd inning. Corona goes on to win. And then later
on Tuesday, this is all Tuesday.
Right, as Steve Madrill puts it, the powers that be decided that they're going to replay the game. So on Friday, we started off in the top of the 2nd. There were runners on base. I had no clue what was going on. They ran around the bases. The King fans cheered. And
wait, so they just put him on base?
They put him on base.
And had him run around to touch the plate?
Yes.
So the runs counted. So it was, what, 2-zip, you said,
2-0
to start the game?
To start the game in the top of the 2nd.
Weird
stuff.
I've seen a lot of baseball. I've never seen that.
Coach Madrill, I asked him about what happened on Tuesday. And he was very gracious. He was really, really nice to just kind of really lay out what happened for me. So I appreciate that, Coach.
Did it make sense after you talked to him? Because I'm still a little confused.
Well, mostly.
So King won on Friday, 3-2. Corona, the first place team in the Big 8 League. But there's a huge game going down today at San Manuel Stadium. Roosevelt and Santiago. The Sharks still trying to chase down, Corona High School for that Big 8 League championship.
Right, and Max Preps right now says that Corona is at 10-4. If my understanding is correctly, that's wrong because that win on Tuesday is still counting on Max Preps. So they should be 9-4, which means
what?
If Santiago wins tonight, we'll have a tie for first place going into that 2-game series next week.
Oh, man. And we know Ty de Trinidad's a friend of the show, so.
Roosevelt wins, and we've got a team at 9-4 and 2 teams at 8-5. Either way, it's going to be nuts.
You know what? I think I said on this very show when we got into league play that the team that wins the Big 8 League, you're not going to have a team go undefeated. There's too many good teams. You're going to have like 3 or 4 losses. We could have a 5-loss team, it sounds like, win the Big 8 League.
Yeah. And King, who's at 500 right now in league, beats Corona, possibly one of the best teams in the state.
King has got to be the best 500 team I know because they got so much talent.
And they really do. Talk about a good pitcher on the mound yesterday for King. And I'm blanking on his name. I apologize.
And Corona, I think I was looking at some of the video that you shot. If you're watching us live and amplified on the channel right now, I think that was William Quesadilla, Billy Cheeseblower, wasn't it?
Billy Cheeseblower until Brendan Beck took over. Mr. Corona.
Okay, Mr. Corona. or the brother of Mr. Corona.
The brother of Mr. Corona. Mr. Corona Jr.
That's right. But old Billy Cheese got in there. So I guess Billy Cheese started the game?
He pitched well. He started the not start of the game.
Yeah. The second inning. Technically relief, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he played on Tuesday.
And then Brendan Beck, who is also, it's funny. So Tristan Beck obviously is at Stanford right now, like the ace of the pitching staff.
Right.
His younger brother Brendan has already committed to Stanford. In fact, he's probably signed because he's a senior to Stanford. Cal Quantrill from Lake Elsinore coming up was a pitcher at Stanford as well. So I'm actually going to ask him about Tristan Beck. And, Cal Quantrill was the KG season veteran. And of course, Tristan Beck burst onto the scene as a true freshman and really lit it up. Plus, he played his saxophone right here in our studio at Christmas time. Remember that?
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't have the saxophone up on the wall. He wouldn't let us keep it. So
no, that was my saxophone.
You're right. That was your saxophone.
He tried to get out of it.
That's true.
The backstory real quick is Cal Quantrill from Lake Elsinore is going to be calling in just a couple minutes. Tristan Beck was Mr. Corona. I mean, he was straight A's. He played quarterback on the football team for a little bit. The star pitcher, signed with Stanford. He did all those things. So I got a hold of him. Hey, when you're back in town from Stanford, we'd love to get you in studio on the show, but we need you to play your saxophone. That's part of the deal. You're Mr. Corona. You play the sax. And he's like, I don't know. I can't find it. I think I lost it. I'll have to call my mom. And then so what happens, he rolls into the studio. He didn't have a saxophone, right? So I'm like, you're in luck, Tristan. My brother-in-law has a saxophone, and I brought one in studio, and I put him on the spot, and he had to play right here in our studio. So that was fun with Tristan Beck. But Cal Quantrill from Lake Elsinore will be calling in a couple minutes. I just want to take a quick second, remind everyone that coming up this Monday, live from the Riverside Convention Center, it's the 2017 Riverside Sport Hall of Fame induction celebration. Some great athletes there. I think it's probably sold out. You might want to go to the website, riversidesporthalloffame.com, and see if you can still maybe get a ticket or a table, but it's probably full by now. If you can't make it out there, Inland Sports will be showing it live on the Inland Sports channel. It will begin promptly at 6 o'clock. And it's not just the Hall of Fame celebration, but they're going to be honoring a lot of great high school student athletes as well. There's an inspirational award, so a really great night. It should only take, I've seen the timeline, the rundown, it should only take about 2 hours. So that's Monday night beginning at 6 o'clock live from the Riverside Convention Center. So I hope you'll join us here on Inland Sports, the Riverside Hall of Fame, which I'm on the board. I'm excited about it. Again, I don't even know how I got on the board, but they somehow picked me. But it's a really cool deal. And there's some tough decisions going forward of who they're going to let into the Hall of Fame, because there's some big names out there right now. There's a lot of great athletes coming out of Riverside. It's kind of like a golden era of sports right now in Riverside in terms of Jake Marisnik and Austin Barnes, and there's some football players as well. And it's like, man, there's some pretty big names out there that we're following closely. So that's Monday night, the Riverside Sport Hall of Fame. So Cal Quantrill, here's the deal with Cal. He's going to be joining us in just a second. So Cal Quantrill, star pitcher, Lake Elsinore Storm, the 8th overall pick in last year's Major League Baseball draft. And he is just tearing up the California League. In fact, he probably won't be here much longer. And he faced the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes earlier this week, and they had Jock Peterson of the Dodgers as well as Logan Forsythe. Well, Cal had 12 strikeouts in that game, including those Dodgers several times. So we're going to talk to him about that outing, And, I don't know. I mean, when a guy like that walks up to the plate, obviously you must take notice, like, okay, that's Jock Peterson. That's not just some other minor league guy wearing number 75. That's Jock Peterson of the Dodgers. So we're going to get his thoughts about that. His dad also pitched in the major leagues, so he comes from a baseball family as well. His dad, Paul Quantrill, pitched 14 years in the majors, so he comes from good stock, a good baseball family down there. And there's also a social media push, and I really want to dig deep on this one because I'm very curious. There's a social media push for him to meet Selena Gomez. Now, Colin, you're a man of the people. You probably know better than I. Selena Gomez, I guess she's on Disney shows and she sings and dances, or you have no idea?
I'm just kidding. Yeah, you've just.
Am I close?
Yeah.
Am I close? So,
as far as I know. See, I'm the one that watches old sitcoms, so don't ask me about people like Selena Gomez.
That's right. I asked you something about television last week, and you dropped was it Andy Griffin? Andy Griffith?
Oh, the Andy Griffith show?
Andy Griffith. There you go. Yeah, that's what you watch, right? And
of course, I've seen every episode.
So exactly.
Until Don Knotts sleeps, of course.
Oh, and then the show just tanks.
Yeah, and then
it just goes. It's all downhill from there when Don
Jeff
Knotts
leaves.
leaves.
He's probably listening right now.
Yeah, Jeff Gorham never misses a show, right?
Of course not.
So Cal Quantrill from the Lake Elsinore Storm scheduled to join us in just a couple minutes here as talking about that big outing against Rancho Cucamonga, which you can hear right here on 1350 AM here on Fox Sports Radio. So we love the Quakes, but Cal Quantrill just had that huge game against the Kook of Rancho Cucamonga. So let's take a break. We're going to get Cal Quantrill on the phone. We're also going to get Jeff Steinberg from the Rancho Verde High School. We're going to talk about this new 14-team conference. So it's the Inland Valley League, the Sun Belt League, Notre Dame, and Orange Vista. Actually, I'm going to call the audible, just like a good quarterback would. We're going to call the audible. We're going to go right now to the Fandom House Studio Celebrity Hotline. He's checking in. We're excited to have him on the show. It's Lake Elsinore Storm pitcher Cal Quantrill. Hey, Cal, how are you doing on this Saturday? We appreciate you joining us on the show.
Doing pretty good.
Hey, so let me ask you, let's rewind back to Tuesday night. And you guys were taking on the Kook, Rancho Cucamonga, 12 strikeouts, and there was a couple Dodgers in the lineup. Now, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyways. How many times did you strike out Logan Forsythe and Jock Peterson?
I think 4. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I think that's right. I think that's the correct answer. I think you struck out Logan Forsythe 3 times. You got Jock once. I wanted to ask you, though, when those guys step up to the plate, do you take notice? I mean, do you think, oh, my gosh, it's Jock Peterson. I better not, put one right down the pipe. I mean, is there any extra pressure? I mean, do you think about it much, or is it just another batter?
I mean, I think with any lineup, you're obviously aware of who's powerful, who's got speed. Forsythe and Peterson are big league hitters, so I knew what they're capable of doing if I made a mistake. But I think that in the end, like I've said this before, but good pitches beat good hitters. So if you execute your pitches, it shouldn't matter if it's the best big leaguer in the world up there. So I just pretty much stepped in the plan and got after him.
When you head back to the dugout, are you feeling pretty fired up, though, after you punch out like a Jock Peterson or a Logan Forsythe? Do any of your teammates come up to you? They're like, dude, you just ring them up.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little excited, but I expected a big leaguer.
We're talking with Cal Quantrill of the Lake Elsinore Storm here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. You were the 8th overall pick last year in the MLB draft. I mean, you're a big-time Padres prospect. With that comes lofty expectations. I mean, how do you embrace those expectations?
I think that it's probably the wrong way to look at it in terms of, I have to pitch this good because of where I was drafted or because of what they want me to do. I kind of had that approach last year. This year, I've just decided that, you go out and you do what you're capable of every night. You give your team a chance to win, and in the end, that's what they drafted you for anyway. So, you kind of just go out and you do your best, and hopefully your best is good enough.
Cal, your father, Paul, obviously pitched a long time in Major League Baseball. I think it was 14 years. I mean, what kind of advice does he pass along to you, or does he kind of try to stay out of the way and let you do your own thing? But obviously, if he made it to the major leagues, he knows what it takes. I mean, do you kind of, ask questions and get advice from him when you need it?
Yeah, I think that, I'd be lying if I told you it wasn't an advantage having a big league dad. He's gone through what I'm doing, and, we talk pretty much after every single game. He's a pitching coach for now, and it's helpful. It's nice knowing that there's nothing that I'm about to do that he hasn't done. So, that's everything from riding the buses and staying in the hotels and, going city to city, game to game. So it's nice having that.
Talking with Cal Quantrill here on the Inland Sports Show on Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Hey, Cal, let me ask you, let's go back to Stanford real quick, because Tristan Beck from Corona is a good friend of the show. In fact, he played his saxophone on our show one time. What do you remember him from Stanford, and where do you see the upside for Tristan Beck as he, is probably eyeing a professional career, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I only played with him for a year. He was incredible his freshman year. I know he's dealt with some injuries this year, but, the guy's got a ton of upside. He dominated college pitching as a freshman, or he dominated college hitters as a freshman, which is obviously hard to do. And, I'd love to see him called on that first day of the draft. He's clearly talented enough to do it, and, I'm sure a team will pull the strings.
Cal, so the grind of minor league baseball, you mentioned it, the bus trips and probably late nights and, staying in random cities and whatnot. It's part of the gig as you make your way through, the farm system to make it to the pros. But, each of these stops, are you trying to enjoy the process, or are you focused on the big show? How does that work in the life of a minor league player right now?
Yeah, I think they kind of play together, right? You never lose sight of where you want to be. Obviously, none of us want to be in Lake Elsinore if we had the opportunity to be in San Diego. But that being said, it's part of it, and there's no point in being negative about it. You just got to go out and enjoy it. I'm part of an awesome team here, awesome staff, and it's a ton of fun. I think that if you treat it like a step in the right direction and you enjoy the time that you're having in every place, it just will go faster.
Well, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just going to say it. The Padres could probably use you right now. So you don't have to say anything. You don't have to agree with me. Cal, before we let you go, what is this whole online social media push about Selena Gomez? Listen, we really want to help you. We want to help you. We want to get the hashtag going. We want to make this happen. But what's the deal with you and Selena Gomez and you getting the opportunity to meet her?
Yeah, it started as a joke. Obviously, I've had a little celebrity crush on Selena for a little while, and the guys were telling me, answer the questions, whatever we did, get to know your Lake Elsinore Storm. And I said, answer the questions however you want. So the question was, who would you like to talk baseball with? And I said Selena Gomez, of course. I think it'd be a great conversation starter. So, the tweet was kind of a joke for me and the guys, but, it's taken off a little bit right now.
Well, Cal, we're going to do everything in our power here on the Inland Sports Show to push it along on social media, so we got your back.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, that's Cal Quantrill of the Lake Elsinore Storm here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM. Cal, we appreciate the time, and best luck in your next outing.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that's Cal Quantrill from Lake Elsinore. Pretty big week. Trying to get the attention of Selena Gomez. You ring up Logan Forsythe 3 times. And Jock Peterson won, so it's pretty good to be Cal Quantrill right now. When we come back on the Inland Sports Show, we're going to hear from the head coach at the Rancho Verde High School, Jeff Steinberg, from the football team, and also some big local football news that you will hear nowhere else, but right here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
excited about offering still and motion photography, motion graphics, which is like television style, promo style graphics, and sports edits, which we're really excited about because we get to incorporate not only photography but graphics and effects, which is I'd say our strength. Something that screams action, athletic, information, all in one unit, and easily to share with friends, family, coaches. Get you something creative, have fun with it, have fun with the photo shoot. We have our gear that we need to be ambitious with our production value. Really excited about the offer of sports edits, and especially when you see some of the major college programs, what they come up with, and the fact that we can have just as good a production value. You know what, I don't think we've really seen the potential of what we can do with the sports edit. That's part of the reason I'm kind of excited. More to come, I guess.
We're going to fire it up. We're going to finish up strong here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports 1350 AM. We appreciate you listening and watching us live and amplified right now on the Inland Sports channel. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. Lots of great content there. Highlights, interviews, our live broadcasts, and, of course, the Inland Sports Show right here on Fox Sports. On IEMG TV right now, airing on Channel 3. You might get that television station if you live in Redlands, Colton, San Bernardino, Rancho Cucamonga, out there in the Cook. Also Rialto, out that way. Channel 3 out there. Also on the IE Media Group YouTube channel. You can check out our latest show, including, we hear from DeMonte Casey, the former Cajon High School Cowboy, drafted by the Atlanta Falcons in last week's NFL Draft. Casey very excited to start his NFL career, start flying around for the Falcons. As I pointed out on Sports Weekly on IEMG, the Falcons almost won the Super Bowl. Maybe they needed DeMonte. So DeMonte Casey and a lot more on this edition of Sports Weekly on IEMG TV. Check your local television listings and, of course, go to the IE Media Group YouTube channel. We talked to DeMonte Casey. A lot of good things on there. Actually, on that same show, in a kind of a bizarre turn of events, we actually had some breaking football news that we're going to pass along as we wait for Jeff Steinberg here. So Thursday, we heard that Jason Vandiver, the head football coach at San Bernardino Valley College, is not coming back. And in fact, on the previous episode of Sports Weekly on IEMG, I had an interview with Coach Vandiver. We had video of a spring practice for the Wolverines, and Vandiver was out there, and he was telling me that he was in the process of the school removing the interim tag so he could be the official head coach. He stepped in last year, had one season under his belt with the interim tag, but they were in the process of getting that removed. Well, in a bizarre turn of events, he hit me up on Thursday and said, yeah, I'm no longer the coach. They decided to go in a different direction, which is kind of weird. We're already in the month of May. A lot of teams are already in their spring football practices. Maybe they've even completed the portion of their spring football season. So San Bernardino Valley College is looking for a new head football coach. Jason Vandiver, a good dude. I really like him. I'm sure he's going to land on his feet somewhere, but he is no longer at Valley. So who's going to replace him? Well, Coach Lawler, the defensive coordinator, would be the logical fit if they want to keep it in-house and pick someone that's already on staff. Or they might go beyond. The district might open it up and see what kind of names they can get. But again, it's kind of late in the game. It's the month of May, and a lot of football teams were already cranking up and getting ready for the August, obviously, training camp, and then most of the teams kick off their seasons at the JC level that first Saturday in September. So we'll see what they're going to do at San Bernardino Valley College. But Jason Vandiver, no longer the head coach of the Wolverines, in a kind of a bizarre turn of events. High school football news, of course, the big news that a lot of people are still talking about, still resonating with a lot of teams, is this new league alignments. And the big news coming out of that was a brand new 14-team conference that will take the Inland Valley League, the Sun Belt League, Notre Dame High School, and Orange Vista, put them all together in some super conference, and they're just going to let them beat each other up, basically. So we're talking about the Rancho Verde, Riverside Poly, JW North, Heritage High School, Paloma Valley, Elsinore, Temescal Canyon, Paris. I'm leaving out a couple, but there's so many good teams in this conference. How will it all work out? We're going to try to find out and make some sense of this. Right now, let's go to the Boost Performance Training Celebrity Hotline. He's also my neighbor. It's the great Jeff Steinberg. Coach, how are you doing today?
Good morning. Doing well. Just at my daughter's swim meet, enjoying their time.
I heard they're calling her like a young Michael Phelps. Is that true?
Oh, no.
Hey, but on a more serious note, did you get a new dog?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said on a very serious note, did you get a new dog?
We did. Yeah, we have a new addition to the family.
What's the dog's name? Because I saw it's a beautiful dog. I think it's like a black lab, am I right?
It's a lab cross. Yeah, her name is Mabel.
Oh, great looking dog. Good choice.
Yeah, we wish she would behave a little better maybe when she was in the house, but so such is life with puppies.
You're a pretty stern football coach. I'm sure you can get her dialed in, right?
I can't even get my own kids dialed in at times.
Well, Coach, we want to talk to you about this new 14-team conference that will begin in 2018 that will take the Inland Valley League, the Sun Belt League, Notre Dame, and Orange Vista and kind of mash you guys all together. And I've heard several different things. I don't know what you heard. I heard there was going to be 2 leagues inside the conference, and I heard 3 leagues inside the conference. I mean, can you kind of make sense of what it might look like in 2018?
Yeah, I think the ADs are just now starting to get together to kind of, come up with a plan for it. But, it would stand to reason that, they want to try to get a maximum number of teams in the playoffs. So you could very well see 3 leagues. There could be a 5-5-4 situation, or 7-7 or an 8-6. So it'll be interesting to see in the next couple months or in the next month here how they decide they want to go in the first year. I think it's really exciting. It's something that's being done a little more down in Orange County, and I guess we're going to serve as the test pilot for this super conference.
Even if you look at college football, there's a lot of chatter and taking some of these smaller conferences and putting them together, even the bigger conferences, so you have a lot more teams. I guess the SEC, like the East and the West. I mean, it's kind of a trend in college football. Do you think it's going to take hold in high school football as well?
Well, I don't know. I know a few years ago there was a league or a couple leagues that they formed, an East-West thing, and then Week 10 was an open week for everybody where the 2 top teams would play and so on. That's not going to be the case here. I think what this gives them flexibility with is to change up the leagues by sport. Whereas you may be really good in one sport, but maybe you've got another sport that's down, and it gives you the flexibility to be able to put some of the teams that are like, or schools that are like schools on, based on sport. For instance, we don't have a swim team, so, obviously we wouldn't be in a league I'm sorry, we do have a swim team. But some of the teams that may not have swim teams, it would eliminate them from that league. Maybe if you're weak in one sport, you can go with teams that may not be as strong and have some competitive equity there.
Well, Coach, on that note, let me ask you this. If I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now, if we had a Super League for football, we're talking Rancho Verde, Heritage, Paloma Valley, Valley View. I mean, that would be super. Throw Notre Dame in there if you want. I mean, that'd be super competitive. Would you like to see that? Would that be pretty fun?
Without a question. And, when they were doing the re-leaguing, one of the things that we had discussed was, if there was an opportunity, we definitely wanted to be in a league with Heritage and Paloma Valley, and I guess this gives us the next best option. The super conference idea, which would still possibly put us in a league with those 2 schools, definitely, and I think that's great. It makes sure that once we hit league, we're still going to be having some very competitive games through the end. So we're definitely looking forward to it.
But as a head coach, is it just business as usual? I mean, you just play who's in front of you, right?
Exactly. And, when the draw comes out for CIF every year and, whatever league you're in, you do what you got to do. And really, it's all about playing at a high level regardless of who you're playing each week.
We're talking with Jeff Steinberg, the head football coach at the Rancho Verde High School. Also a big swim fan, as we just found out. Coach, while we got you on the phone, let me ask you about Blake Barnett, your former quarterback at Santiago. Just had the Arizona State spring game. You're an offensive quarterback kind of guy. How did Blake look to you?
I thought he did really well, and I keep in touch with him, see how things are going, and it was, it was nice being able to talk to him and then go out and check out their spring game. I thought he played really well, led them on, I want to say, at least 3 touchdown drives, and it looks like it's going to be pretty stiff competition with him and Manny Wilkins, the other quarterback there, and I really thought he did just a great job of running the offense for somebody who's, he's only been there since January, so he's limited with knowing not only the offense, which is new for everybody, but also just his teammates just starting to kind of learn a little bit about them.
Yeah, I read up a little bit on that ASU spring game, and like you mentioned, Manny Wilkins is the other guy with competing with Blake for that starting nod for the Sun Devils. But when I look at Blake Barnett, and I mean he passes the eye test. I mean, like he's tall, he's filling out, he's strong. We saw him run the ball for you at Santiago. He went on some long runs. I mean, I feel like there's nothing he can't do. I mean, this Manny Wilkins guy must be just short of Superman if he's going to beat out Blake Barnett for a job.
I would think so too. I think that the great thing with Blake is just having a couple of years under his belt, maturing physically and mentally. The guy works his tail off. But in all fairness, I'd be surprised if the coaches didn't extend the competition through fall camp, keeps guys locked in and stuff, and also fair to the guy that got a lot of game time last year too. So probably something that I would expect to see.
Well, Coach, we'll let you go back to the big swim meet. Best of luck to your daughter. Is it Jordan or who's swimming?
Jordan and Jaden are swimming today.
Excellent. Well, best of luck in the pool then.
All right, thank you. Thanks.
All right, that's Jeff Steinberg, the head coach at the Rancho Verde High School, trying to make sense of this new 14-team conference. He just pointed something out that I just kind of assumed that if you have 2 leagues inside of one super conference, you'd have the 2 league winners play each other for that conference title at the end, but it sounds like that's not really the case. So we'll have to see as the athletic directors and the administrations from all these schools get together and kind of sort it out what this all means. One other high school football note we want to pass along, some breaking news. It's not official yet, but it sounds like Rich McClure is going to be the new head football coach at San Gorgonio High School. He's the former defensive coordinator at San G not too long ago, most recently the DC at San Jacinto. Of course, with any high school job, there's a lot of red tape. People got to sign off on it. It's got to be approved by this person and this board. But it looks like Rich McClure is going to be the head coach. So congratulations to him. He inherits a really good San G team. I mean, they won the CIF Southern Section Division 7 title last year, and a lot of guys are coming back. The cupboard certainly is not bare at San G. So that's a great team to inherit. All right. The Inland Sports Show brought to you by our good friends over there at Spoiled. Quick quality oil change. Of course, you'll be spoiled by their excellent customer service. Great prices. Check them out off Alessandro Boulevard. We love you, Bill Navigado. Ken Sporting Goods. More than 40 years in the Inland Empire. Still going strong. Taking care of all your sporting gear needs. Plus Letterman's jackets. They do embroidery. They do everything. They'll sew it up for you. Check out KenSportingGoods.com. Phantom House Studio. Nobody has better sports edits than Phantom House Studio. Go to PhantomHouse.com for more details. They'll get you a great photo shoot for the athlete in your life, maybe senior pictures, wedding pictures, and Boost Performance Training. Happy to have them on board as well. Athletes of all levels, youth to those guys trying to make it to the pros. Check out Boost Performance Training in Corona. Check out Ray Bass, his team bringing experience, passion, commitment to grooming some great athletes. Check them out, boosttrainingsystems.com. Big thanks to Jeff Steinberg, Cal Quantrill from the Lake Elsinore Storm, and the CBU softball team for breaking it down here on the Inland Sports Show. And Jeff Gorm, if you're listening, get well, brother. We'll be praying for you that knee heals up and you'll be dunking the basketball soon, and we'll try to get you back out there on the CVU basketball team soon enough. That is the Inland Sports Show. We appreciate it. We'll see you again next Saturday right here on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.